Good morning, YouTube. It is your boy Atticus. How we all doing? So, yeah, I had another. I know I just casted the Druchii Halloween special, but I had another really cool vampire versus dark elves game that I wanted to show you. Mainly the build that I went. For any of you guys who were interested in learning dark elves, excuse me. So yeah, this is just trying to show a couple different strategies you could use, and I think I'm going to do that for each race because I had somebody who was asking me about the dark elves and certain builds for certain races and stuff, and maybe I kind of need a new theme. I was doing the How to Win series for a bit, and yeah, maybe we'll go back to that and just focused on different builds, explaining like what's good about them, where they suffer from each race, stuff like that. But anyways, let's get started. Let's look at the build here. So for my I start out with my Lord. Of course, with the Supreme Sorceress of Fire, I almost always will go, if I'm playing really competitive or just want to go with the safest build possible, I'll take the Supreme Sorceress of Fire. Of course, for the Flaming Sword of Ruin, that's the only spell you take, cut down on your cost. Put her on a cold one. This is dealer's choice. You could go Pegasus. If you really want to blow a lot of money, go Dragon. Even a horse. I think the cold one is a good compromise. She has a little bit of armor piercing, and is able to protect herself. I've actually had Terrorgeist, as you saw in my other game, come down and try to snipe her, and she was able to stay alive and deal with it. So with that said, yeah, I recommend taking the Supreme Sorceress of Fire. Also do have a Death Hag, and the reason you take a Death Hag, well, two reasons. I have the Blades of the Blood Queen, who have the ward save for your Lord. So both the Death Hag and the Supreme Sorceress are going to get that there's an 18 ward save. I think it's 18% damage resistance. But the Death Hag also has an ability which gives that that -6, I think it is, melee attack. So yeah, she's just going to help the front line chew a little bit better through the opponents. So for my front line, I do have, like I said, the Blades of the Blood Queen, surrounded by 2 units of Sisters of Slaughters. And yeah, guys, Sisters of Slaughters are one of the best infantry units in the game. They will chew through pretty much anything, minus maybe like Chosen. But you'll see, even against things like Grave Guards with what's the word I'm looking for? Great weapons and stuff. Yeah, I mean, they'll either trade completely one-on-one or damage them so much that the other unit can't even do anything else, or just straight out beat them. They are just really good. They have really high melee defense, poison, really good speed, and yeah, so they're just really good, guys. They make a really good front line in a lot of different matchups. I've even seen them handle dwarves pretty effectively. So yeah, 2 of them. Also on each side is the spears, and this is pretty typical. Usually, no matter what you do on your builds, whatever your front line is, if you decide to go with a lot of armor piercing, it's usually really smart to have spears on each side of your formation. And the reason for this is not only to deter cavalry from coming in, but if there is some kind of cav fight that goes on the side, say like the spears come in to deal with these blood knights, I could break these guys off to go assist with that. So you always have that option there, versus if you were put them in the middle. And it kind of just deters him from cycle charging your units. So yeah, pretty standard front line for the Druchii. As you can see here, I have 1 unit of Dark Shards, and usually I don't use these guys, but I had a little bit of gold left over. I just prefer the Repeater Crossbows. But here's like the real muscle of my army. So we got 2 Cold One Knights, surrounded by 2 Doomfire Warlocks, one of them being Slaaneshi Harvesters. So yeah, the idea on this, guys, is that the Cold One Knights will take the charge for the Blood Knights, and then the Slaaneshi Harvesters will come in from behind, and between the both of them, be able to deal with the more powerful Blood Knights, especially with their spells. I would never recommend sending in the Doomfire Warlocks first, because by doing that, the charge bonus will just melt them, even though they do have, I think, 40 or so physical resist. And then 1 unit of Harpies. Their job is just, of course, to deal with any bats, try to screen for my my Dark Shards. For my opponent, he does have Isabella von Karstein, and you don't really see her a lot. But she is very tanky. Yeah, she has a heal for herself, really good mobility. And if you look at her stats, oops, what'd I do? Where'd the units go? Okay, there you go. I got weirded out for a second. So yeah, she has 80 armor, 65 melee defense. She's a melee expert, so she is a good lord, even though she's not picked a lot. For a front line, though, my opponent went really, really powerful. He went 4 units of Graveguard with great weapons, and these guys have rank 4 silver chevron. So 1, 2, 3, 4 of those, and he has some spears in the front. So I like this, the idea behind this. Spears will deal with any hydras, or a death hag on an altar, or stuff like that. And then you got your armor piercing here in the back. Also, you put them in the front like this to try to just, distract the archers if I had a lot to shoot them instead. So it's a good, formation. Also has 2 units of Blood Knights with, looks like just 1 chevron and 1 unit. So, yeah, we got 1 unit of the Dire Pack, and these guys are the anti-large ones. So let's go ahead and start the game here and see how it goes. Alright, so right off the bat here, we should be starting. The clock is moving, so... let's see here. Are we moving? Might have to forward it here. Okay, so here we go. So right off the bat, I am going to send my harpies here to just screen out the Dire Pack. And since the harpies are not large, the Dire Pack won't get that extra, that anti-large bonus. So it will keep these guys preoccupied, distracted, and keep them from getting into my archers. My dark shards, which that's what he's hoping. So also, when you first start the game, you want to identify each different target, each threat. Try to find the optimal matchup for your units. So I see these 2 Blood Knights, so I'm going to start getting my archers in position. I'm going to send my harpies over here. I'm just paying attention. I also recommend every time you start a game, look on your mini map and look on the back, in each corner to see if you see any red dots, for Vanguard. And do this for any army, any matchup. That's the first thing I do, is see if I see anything in the back, any Vanguard shenanigans I need to worry about. So right off the bat, I see that he's not charging, so I'm just going to send in my Doomfire Warlocks. He does not get looks like he got a little bit of a full charge there, so that was a little bit unfortunate. But the second one, they did not get their charge bonus off. He was, looking over here, which, I kind of just took the gamble. You are going to see, though, I am going to get all the spells off. We got Word of Pain to take these guys down on melee attack. We got Soul Stealer. We got the one that lowers Soul Blight, that lowers armor. So pretty much we just blew our whole load. But look, we're dealing with those Blood Knights, and that's a lot of money for the opponent to have to deal with. Over here, the front lines are going to crash. You can see that this one unit right here is going to try to get a good flank. But yeah, look at this, what I was talking about, guys. Look at these Sisters of Slaughter versus these Graveguard. And these are even chevroned up Graveguards. That's just good, how good Sisters of Slaughters are. Over here, the Knights of the Blades of the Blood Queen just chewed through these Skeleton Spearmen, like nothing. So they're going to go assist with the other unit. You can see over here, the Harpies are just mucking these guys up, and this is just working really good for me. My opponent is going to do a zombie summon on the Dark Shards, which is a really smart play. But over here, guys, look, we just destroyed those Blood Knights. I mean, that combination is just really good. So we're going to send the rest of our cav units here to go assist in the main engagement. So yeah, you can see right here, he does get a little bit of a surround on these spears, which is unfortunate, but I am going to cast Flaming Sword of Ruin, and the only reason I'm just doing this, even though there's no ethereal, is just to get a little bit more weapon damage. I'm just trying to do as much damage as I can before these guys lose. But yeah, as you can see over here, straight up mano a mano. I mean, the Sisters of Slaughter are just such a good unit. They do really good. This was a little bit of a miscast. Oh, never mind. It was not a miscast. What I did is I used it on the zombies here. I wanted to free up my... that is the Black Horror, the bound spell by the Supreme Sorceress, and I just wanted to get rid of those zombies. So, yeah, all my units now are just chewing through all these units, and now I'm sending them over here to assist with these Sisters of Slaughter. Opponent does have one unit of Graveguard weapons here in reserve. He is going to send to reinforce that side there of the battle. And over here, I'm just sending my Cold Wind Knights into this. They got armor piercing. They'll be able to deal with the Graveguard. He is going to send his spears over here, but at this point, I'm feeling pretty confident. So I'm probably just going to leave him in, and they rampage anyways. So here in a second, I am going to get the Blades of the Blood Queen and the Death Hag into battle. I'm just trying to decide where I want to put him, because if I run him all the way over here, and then he flies over on this side, it's kind of annoying that way. Seeing if these guys are doing okay on their own, I'm just leaving them in the middle for now. Well, I guess I do decide to run over there, but I am going to stop them, yeah, as you can see right there. My dark shards are going to start shooting in on Isabella, free damage, just sniping away at her. And over here, you can see the Harpies have dealt with the Dire Pack, guys. I mean, this whole game, they've not been able to get into any of my cav units, my archers, and yeah, that's exactly what Harpies are for. Just use them to distract things. Over here, the Graveguard and the Looks like we got the Sineshi Harvesters and everything is just collapsing, getting rid of this last Graveguard unit. Over on this battle, you can see the Spearmen and the Cold One Knights are fighting, and this is unfortunate for me. That's a lot of money thrown, but in the same token, it's holding up all these guys. And at this point, he doesn't have a reliable way of dealing with my army. I'm feeling like I can win this. He is going to charge in on my Dark Shards. I'm going to use the spears here that I put in defense, and they're going to run here shortly and deal with Isabella. This spear unit is free now, so there they go. The Dire Pack is going to try to finally get over there, but the what are these guys called? Doomfire Warlocks are going to come, and now their job is just to chase off Isabella von Karstein. This little pocket, this little battle has been done, kind of an overkill, so we're just going to rush everybody here, try to muck up Isabella von Karstein, which she's really tanky. You'll see she'll get a complete surround, but she just does not die. Which, it's kind of her thing. Her and Vlad von Karstein have just a lot of staying power. Over here, this is, it's not really much of a threat for the army I have, but it is a little bit of something, and my opponent really needs to get him over there, which he will do soon. But yeah, at this point, guy, we almost got a complete surround. He's trying to run away, but every time, when you get a surround like this, guys, just keep clicking. And what I do so they can't escape is I just click on each individual unit and just keep doing it. Just, right click, this unit, right click, spears, right click, Doomfire Warlocks, right click. Just keep everybody on Isabella. He is going to wisely cast a unit of zombies, and this is good just to muck up the AI. It just keeps my units from hitting him. But at this point, it's going to be really hard for him to come back from this, especially with the Sisters of Slaughter that will just chew through these skeletons like it's nothing. He is surprisingly doing a lot of damage to my Supreme Sorceress. I probably should, pull her back if I was playing a little bit more safely. But yeah, I'm feeling pretty confident, guys. It's going to take, short of a miracle for him to actually come back and beat me at this point. Over here, I'm just going to have, a unit of Cold One Knights deal with these Grave Guards, just trying to hold them up, you know what I mean? Like, the real objective I'm doing now is just trying to snipe Isabella. And you can see, guys, look at that. She's just really tough. You have all these units, and she's just holding it. So yeah, that's the game. Good game to my opponent. Wanted to show you guys that build. Wanted to show you guys kind of how I go about in the matchup. Selecting certain targets, getting units in position. Trying to counter the things of my opponent and stuff like that. So, and this is a really good build versus vampires. I just wanted to show that too. So, looking at the end screen here, the Supreme Sources of Fire, always safest, good pick. But look at the Blades of the Blood Queen 300, Sisters of Slaughter 140, 91, supported by the Death Hag, which gave that -6 melee attack. So yeah, it just worked really good. We took out those Blood Knights, and everything just kind of worked the way it was supposed to. And you can see my opponent, he went really heavy on the infantry. He really, he gambled trying to win that fight. And yeah, Sisters of Slaughter, even though they put him up to chevrons, will still just beat him. So yeah, guys, I just wanted to show you that game, give you a little extra Vampire one. Druchii for all the Druchii fans. So it's Atticus. I'll see you next time. Thanks.